Welcome back to another video, and thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning viewer, thank you for coming back. And if you're here for the first time, or if you're seeing this channel for the first time, you're in the right place, because in this channel I share educational content to help you build a rewarding and fulfilling career. So in today's video, I want to share with you some of the important tips that I believe you should begin practicing right now, especially in your interview, to help you perform at your best, or to help you stand out in a job interview. We all know that job interviews are quite competitive, and the most important thing is to get away or get to the point that you can always stay top at the interviewer's mind. And this you can only be able to do this by performing in an interview exemplary well. So what are the things that you need to do? What are the tactics? That is what I'm going to share in this video. I'm going to share with you the things that I believe that if you do them, they're going to put you in a better place to shine in an interview. Then I'm going to give you a bonus tip that I really believe will be important for you even as you prepare for your next job interview. So stay with me till the end of this video. So the first tip that I believe will help you shine or perform best at an interview and increase your chances of being hired is preparation. I think I've talked about preparation so many times, and I know you've heard or you've learned that preparing for an interview is very key. So the preparation that I want to speak about for this video is that which requires you to understand the job really well. Why do you need to understand the job? So when you understand a job that you're being interviewed for, you're able to tell the interviewer what they want to hear. And what is it that the interviewer want to hear? The interviewer want to hear something that will convince them that you are the right match for this job. So what you need to do when preparing for an interview is to ensure that you go through the job advert. By going through the job advert, you'll be able to pick the key skills, the key strengths, and what exactly the job needs. And this is important in helping you to prepare to be able to say the right things. You see, the things that the interviewer wants to hear. And also, as you prepare, it's important to really understand the need of the organization in terms of relevance with the job. So as you prepare for your interview, while going through the job description, you will be able to understand what the job is all about. And when you get to the interview, for instance, and they even ask you that question, tell us what is your understanding of this job, you'll go outright and really explain it as it is in the job description, because you had already gone through what are the key responsibilities of this job, why is this job important to the organization, and why is this job requiring this or that skill. So preparation is really key, and I always say that nothing replaces preparation when it comes to a job interview. So next time you're going to a job interview, please do not overlook one of the key tips, that is preparation. And even another way that you can also do the preparation, which I really don't want to miss out for this point, is before the interview, prior to the interview, you need to practice. And by practicing, you get to familiarize yourself with the interview conversation, which most of the time make most people fearful, bring feelings of nervousness, and those are some of the things that really make people not to perform well at an interview. So you need to ensure that you practice so many times before you get to the actual interview. Another tip that you need to know if you want to pass your next interview is knowing about the company. So getting to have sufficient information about the company helps you in so many ways. Let me just demonstrate maybe some of the ways that this will really make you stand out. For instance, there's an interview question that most interviewers will ask you, like, what do you know about our company? Maybe some can even ask you, what are some of our products that you've used, or what do you know about our competitors? Imagine if you get to an interview and they ask you, what do you know about our company, and you do not know anything. That really is a very big turnoff, and that is one of the first red flags that a panel will see in a candidate, and they will obviously tell that you're not ready to work for that company, because there's no way you're going to convince them that you want to work for their company if you do not know about the organization. So yes, it's important that as you prepare for your interview, read and get to understand important information about the company. This of course will include what products or services does this company offer, who are their key competitors, what is any other relevant or trending news about them, because sometimes we find that you're looking for jobs and you forget about yourself. And why I'll say you forget about yourself, especially at this point of knowing about the company, you can be interviewing blindly, yet you're interviewing at a company who already has a lot of legal issues, which could even be in the limelight, but because you've not conducted your research, you get the interview, get the job, and maybe just a few months or just within a short time after joining the company, you realize that really this is not what you wanted. Even as you look for the job, also know that you're also looking for the best, and I mean the best employer in terms of alignment of what you believe in and what they practice in that company. So before you go for any interview, I really recommend that you should do a deep research about the company to get to know those information about their product, their key competitors. So when you're asked that question in the interview, you don't tell them that you don't know. The next tip that I really recommend that you need to have is speaking skills. Being able to speak and communicate and convey your message clearly with clarity is the most important skill that anyone can have. So if you are a good speaker, that is a good thing. And if you are struggling with speaking, especially speaking in front of people, it is time that you be very deliberate about practicing how to speak. Not just how to speak, but how to speak well. Being able to speak well means that when you speak, somebody else is able to understand the message that you're trying to convey, and understand it with clarity, and understand it with the original with its original intent. So one of the ways that speaking will help you in an interview is that apart from being able to convey your message clearly, you will be able to demonstrate confidence, and this is one key skill that interviewers will be looking for in an interview. So if you're not able to speak, some of the ways that you can learn how to speak is continuously practicing. You can try practice in front of a mirror just to see how do you bring out the words. Are you articulating that you're speaking, then someone can actually people can actually hear what you're saying. So also speaking reduces anxiety, reduces nervousness, and nervousness, I speak about it a lot when I'm speaking about interviews, because it's also one of the things that make candidates fail interviews, because when you get to an interview, you're nervous, you begin to demonstrate some aspects of fear and all that. You really reduce your chances of getting hired. So if you're not a good speaker, as I've already said, please be deliberate about learning how to speak well, because this is one thing that you really need if you want to pass your interviews. Another key tip is note-taking. How can note-taking help you during an interview? When you're able to take notes from the point that an interview starts, you can always use them as a point of reference. And if you can refer to your notes, and especially when you're asking a panel a question, it comes out so strongly and it really conveys you're following through the conversation. And who will not want to know, or who will not want to talk more to a person who shows interest in what they're saying? So if you're able to refer, like for instance, if I was interviewing you, and maybe later if I give you a chance to ask a question and you tell me, maybe you ask me like, and Nelly, when you are starting you just mentioned this and this, then how does that work in your company? You see, that aspect really shows me this is a candidate who was concentrating, who's interested in learning more about us. Because guys, as I always say, when you're interviewing, interviews are two-way traffic. While as you're being interviewed to assess your fit for the job, you're also interviewing that employer just to get to know, is this the best or is this the right place I want to work in? So by asking questions or by having notes that you can refer to, or notes are also important just to help you to seek clarity. While if a panel had said something and you're not clear about it, instead of interrupting, you can just note it down, and maybe as you go along with the interview, you can refer to it to ask questions just to get clarity. It really brings out a very good picture, shows that you're really attentive, you're interested, and it even shows that you really understand yourself. Instead of just not being clear about a point and not asking, it's always really good to take this, or rather adopt this skill of note taking, to help you just walk through the conversation as the panelists speak through the interview. Another tip that I want you guys to adopt immediately is the use of examples. You can't go through an interview without using examples. You can't describe your previous achievements without using examples, or even your skills. If you're asked about what are your key skills, what are your strengths, you can't really expect to do it well if you're not able to use examples. So the use of examples is a very powerful tip if you want to excel in any interview. As you demonstrate your achievements, you need to be able to give examples. For instance, if you say, one of my achievements is that I was recommended as the best salesperson consecutively in a period of 2 years. Why? You need to say, why were you considered the best salesperson? Maybe you are able to increase sales by 100%, and this impacted the company, increasing the number of sales in this particular, maybe in a particular region, and this ultimately led them to getting profitable. So you need to give practical examples of what is the achievement that you're talking about, how did you achieve it, and how did it impact positively, how did it impact the company. So you need to always use examples. If you, in anything that you're giving in an interview, if you say you have this particular skill, I am a good speaker, I am confident, you need to give examples of how you've been able to demonstrate confidence in your previous or in your current work, and how it has been able to benefit you and your team. So if you can master the art of giving examples in an interview, guys, then you're going to really shine in your next interviews. The next important tip is to always show interest, not desperation. Why I'm saying not desperation is that in most instances, you realize that a candidate might think that they're showing interest while they're showing desperation. And I'm going to show you these statements that really show that it is not interest. While you might think is that you're showing interest, the panel might see it like you're showing desperation. So for instance, if you're in the interview and say, I really need this job, I would really appreciate if you hire me. If you begin to use those statements, while they are good, you're really trying to make them, you're really using them to show interest in the job, it comes out like you're showing desperation. So you really need to avoid statements that shows that you're desperate for the job, while you might really be needing this job. But remember, no employer outside there is looking for someone who is desperate or someone who really needs the job. Every employer outside there is looking for someone who can add value to their team, someone who can help them achieve their goal as an organization. So instead of desperation, always show interest. And this is how you show interest. You show interest by showing the value that you have, being able to sell that value, telling them how that value can, the value or the skill that you have can bring, the skills that you have can bring value to the organization, demonstrating how you've used these skills to add value previously, and you're showing your passion for that job, showing that you're enthusiastic about it, and really avoiding those sentiments or those statements that will show that you're desperate for that job. So yeah, these are some of the important tips that I really believe that can help you even as you prepare for your next interview. And the bonus tip that I want to give you guys is to emphasize my point one, that never ever get to an interview without getting prepared. Preparation is key, and failing to prepare is actually preparing to fail. So if you found this video interesting, I know you'll want to watch part 2 of it. So don't miss out on part 2, which is just right after this one. So thank you for watching. We've come to the end of this video, and as always, if you find this channel educative, you find it informative, and if you find this content is helping you even in your job search journey, then just show some love and some support by subscribing to this channel. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next video, which is the part 2 of this video. Thank you.